This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. I am your host, as always, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is the man I would not trust with the blindfold challenge, the Bird Box challenge, that is, Mark Souza.
What is the Bird Box challenge? I'm aware of the movie, but what is the actual challenge?
People are blindfolding themselves and doing things.
I
like
almost
driving cars.
watched it last night. Well, wait, people are blindfolding themselves and driving
Well, they're
cars?
not going like on the highway. I think they're just like going like 5 miles an hour. They're being stupid.
All right.
Netflix,
is this like the whole Tide Pod thing? Like,
yes, Netflix is telling them to not do the Bird Box challenge anymore.
We live in that time.
We live in the
where
time
you
period.
have to tell people to not do things that may or may not kill themselves,
Like
and people
not
around
eat
them.
toxic chemicals.
So I didn't watch Bird Box, but I did watch Infinity War.
Oh, that's on Netflix now, yeah. The ending still gets me. I do like it when...
But then I realized that I didn't watch Age of Ultron.
You didn't watch Age of Ultron? And you didn't get that. A lot of that doesn't make sense if you don't watch Infinity War.
About halfway through the movie, I was like,
you need to watch,
wait a minute.
You
I
need to
remember
watch
the
Age
reason
of Ultron.
why I didn't watch it in theaters because I didn't see the first one yet.
Yeah. The first one, you need... No, that was the second one.
The Age of
Ultron is second.
I mean, sorry, I've seen the first one.
You need to see
I
Age of
haven't
Ultron.
seen Age of Ultron.
Infinity War doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, but it's still like it's still a good.
Well, I mean, it
standalone
makes
movie.
sense.
Like
but
I enjoyed it, even though I didn't understand fully.
It totally helps if you watch Age of Ultron.
Well, I'll just watch it backwards, dude.
Well, you're gonna see Vision having a very short time span in the series.
Yeah.
He comes in at the end of the.
I don't like
Age
his
of
shade
Ultron.
of purple.
It's red. That's
Well,
Thanos.
No. Vision is like a maroon. Like it's like a. It's not like a
not
true
purple.
red.
I wouldn't say purple.
It's not like a true red though. It's like.
Do you like Thanos' purple?
I like his purple more.
You know, he was kind of really dark purple in the end credits of the first one. Now he's like super.
I
light.
did like the funny lines in the movie though. There were some good.
There
like,
were some
one-liners.
I'm from I'm from Iowa. Yeah, that's on Earth.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good little one-offs there that I thought were pretty funny with Star-Lord and Iron Man.
Oh yeah, those two are great.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt and Robert Downey Jr. are amazing.
It's a pretty good movie though, man. And the only thing is that there's so many characters. Like they're
all dead.
Well, like in the movie, I'm sitting there like Googling all because I know most of the characters, but like there's still some that I'm like, okay, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like who's the flat-nosed guy? The the bad guy at the beginning.
Oh, that's Red Skull.
The one that's messing with Doctor Strange.
Oh wait, no, that's
the one that tortures him.
Oh no! I thought you meant Red Skull talking to Thanos.
Like
no.
the little guy. Like
he's a Doctor Strange villain. I don't really watch. I don't
see.
I
didn't know who that was.
Well, you have to watch the Doctor Strange movie or read his comics. And I didn't see Doctor Strange, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
But
all right,
you
I thought it was a pretty good movie. I had the sound system going.
Seeing Red Skull was a pretty trippy thing, though. I'm like, how is he in space? Isn't he still human? I never got that. But then he kills it. Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
I already saw the memes too. You know all the. I don't feel so
I'm
good.
assuming
memes.
me saying that 90% of the cast dies is not a spoiler anymore.
No, because the memes, dude.
The trailer looks good for Endgame.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's actually.
I know that it came out, but I haven't seen the trailer.
It kind of looks like they're going back in time.
I did find it interesting though that they filmed that while they filmed Black Panther, and they were both casts were doing the same movie. Or
it was probably trippy for them, but
they're doing both movies.
I mean,
at the same
kill
time.
two birds with one stone, right?
Oh, it makes sense. I just thought that was like
but
a lot of work.
if you watch the Endgame trailer, it kind of is it's not. They don't officially say it, but they're hinting at the fact, well, more than a hint, that they're going back in time.
Okay.
which makes sense because how are they going to?
People are going to come back.
Yeah, or hopefully they will.
They
we
will.
don't. We've only seen the in the trailer. All you see is the original Avengers and Hawkeye returns.
Oh, okay.
So Hawkeye apparently didn't get killed with the flick of which I'm assuming his family did, which is really depressing.
It's interesting you bring up returns because Paul George returned to the
to
Los Angeles, not to the Lakers, but
this
to
is a sports
Southern
podcast.
California.
This is a sports podcast.
PG returns to Southern California, where he is from. Of course,
there was rumors last season. Sorry to interrupt, but I think you were going that place last season that he might go to LA,
and
which
the fans
everyone was expecting.
Pretty much figured that he was going back home and playing for the Lakers.
It was almost like a foregone conclusion.
Yep, and he was greeted with some boos last night. I think some fans feeling a little salty about it.
I think it's like, oh, you lied to us kind of feel. But he didn't really say it.
He didn't say anything.
He did not say anything.
It was just rumor mill from, writers
everybody
and fans.
Everybody,
yeah. They just
linked it together. It's his hometown. He wants to go back to home probably. It's only...
And we're all, guilty of that, where we link players like, oh, he's from...
Oh, like
Colorado,
Kevin Durant going to the
the Broncos or the Nuggets.
Kevin Durant going to the Wizards.
Yeah.
Because he's from Washington.
There's always
But he's never going to Washington.
Who knows? But there's always something. It's always something with sports fans, right? We always are. So we did it with Paul George. We just assumed who doesn't want to play for the Lakers. Although I don't know. We've seen lately that maybe people, maybe not just players, but players in their prime don't want to play with LeBron. That might be a thing.
I think it's one of the long lines of they don't want to be second fiddle.
I think if Kawhi doesn't go to the Lakers, then that's like a thing.
That's an officially a thing? Don't play with LeBron?
Because if Kawhi, who's also
Kawhi's
from
going to take
California, but he doesn't go to the Lakers.
And he went to San Diego State.
Yeah.
If he does go to LA, he would be the backseat to LeBron, and I don't think he wants that. I think he wants the be the guy.
Right.
Which is what you want in a player. They want to take over the team and be the guy. Mm-hmm. And if you go to LA, you're going to be second fiddle, regardless who you are. If you're not LeBron James.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't get to see Paul George play against LeBron last night. But George played
LeBron's still out with a groin injury, I believe.
He is still out. He was there.
Did he just pull it or did he strain it?
I think they're saying it's a strain because he's day to day, so he can return, I guess, when he's feeling comfortable. He just started shooting basketballs the other day, yesterday or 2 days ago.
Straining your groin hurts, so yeah.
Yeah, so Paul George, though, 37 points. It wasn't his best night shooting, but he did contribute. Speaking of bad shooting, Russell Westbrook, 3 of 20. He's still struggling big time shooting the ball.
Yet still had a triple-double.
You know what? He almost had a triple-double in the first half. He had 8, 9, and 9 in the first half.
He had 14 points, and going for 3 for 20, it doesn't make sense. Then you look at his free throws. He had 7 free throws.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Kuzma injured his back, and he's going in for an MRI. He only played 16 minutes last night. So,
did you see Ferguson's fall?
No.
Oh, I'll show you.
Wait, I saw Russell Westbrook hit the deck.
No, this dude had 10 feet in the air and fell on his face.
Really?
I'll see if I can find it.
I was watching when Westbrook got the technical foul last night because he went up for a dunk.
Shocker, he got a technical.
Well, he went up for a dunk, and I think it was McGee. I want to say it was JaVale McGee who... It looked like he fouled him, honestly. I think he had a right to be upset. But he smacked a Gatorade cup off the scorer's table and got teed up for it. But going back to the game, Lonzo Ball was booed last night at the free throw line. He missed another free throw, and the crowd let him know they were not happy about it.
Yeah, it's I think he's just being rejected by the fan base. I think
he was also pulled yesterday with 3:46 left in the game. Another game where he's actually been taken out with 5 minutes or less in the game. Whether they've been winning or losing, it doesn't seem to matter. Usually a bad free throw shooter they take out, obviously, when a team's winning. But even when they've been behind, they've prefer to go to a guy like Josh Hart running the point. Rondo's been out, LeBron's been out, but still Ball's not on the court.
You're missing a very important detail of that game, and that's Westbrook trolling Lance Stevenson.
Oh, him doing the air guitar was
I thought it was great. I got a kick out of that.
What Westbrook is... We talk about Durant being petty. Westbrook is always keeping his eyes and ears on social media, on all the highlights,
No, they're both pettiest players in the league without question.
Maybe that's why they couldn't coexist.
Oh, yeah. Well, they both can't take criticism. Like, and if fan base is like, they're trying to get a rise out of you and they're trying to egg you on, and if you yell back, you are basically, they're winning.
Thin skin, right?
Yeah, like, the players with the thickest skin are usually the most respected.
So, moving on. Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Hayward, man. We've been talking about waiting for him.
Back.
35 points. I mean, I'm not saying he's back, but 32 minutes last night, 14 of 18 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, 35. I think this was the first game that I can say, like, he looks like he might be turning the corner in his recovery and his rehab from that devastating injury he suffered last season. I'm not sure if it'll continue, but I sure hope so because he's easily one of the better players in the league when he's fully healthy, fully fit, and ready to go. So they win the game 115-102 over Minnesota. Boston improves to 22-15. But again, I think the bigger storyline rather than the record is Gordon Hayward. If that guy can get back on track, Boston can shoot themselves into the conversation of NBA contenders, right? NBA title contenders. If they can get Gordon Hayward to contribute to that team and get back even close to his former self, maybe they could represent the East in the finals.
Oh, 100%. I think everyone thought they would bounce back like that. I didn't think anyone thought they would just fall off the face of the earth kind of thing. I think everyone expected them to bounce back, and they're doing that right now.
They're fifth in the East, but there is the top 5 in the East are kind of head and shoulders above the rest of the conference. There's a little bit of a valley between the 5th and the 6th seed. Miami's the 6th seed, that 18-18. Boston's 22-15. So you can kind of see where the difference is just based on those two in the standings. Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
is
that guy. Shockingly frustrated. Well, not shockingly. That was sarcasm.
He had a great game last night. He had, let me see here, 34 and 26.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of rebounds.
That is a lot of rebounds. I'm just trying to...
26 is like a career high for like 95% of the players that have ever played in the NBA.
Yeah, that's like godlike.
Maybe more than 95. It's probably 99.
That's like a man... That's a high schooler playing against like 6th graders.
But the Pelicans are now 17 and 22.
Not his fault. Everyone else's. Well, maybe not Julius Randle's.
And I think the sad part is they gave up 126 points to the Brooklyn Nets. Albeit it was on the road, but man, get this. The Pelicans had 4 starters that had over 20 points and they lost. And their 5th starter had 16 points, but they only had 5 points off of their bench. That's an incredible number. Both
5 points off the bench.
5 points off the bench, but on the other side of the coin, 4 out of 5 starters had at least 20 points, and Davis had 34. So, like, what was the bench doing? I guess
watching their team score a lot of points,
losing the lead apparently. So
yeah. They're like, oh look, the other team's scoring.
Anthony Davis says that their team is better than what their record shows. They're now 17 and 22. They are second worst in the West. They are only above Phoenix, and nobody's.
I was about to say no one's catching Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is going to be the worst team.
9 and 30 speaks for itself, and you can only go worse by going 8 and 30. Oh wait.
So do you think that New Orleans and their terrible start, as we approach the trade deadline, I think the common rumor, the common idea is that Anthony Davis will at some point be traded from the Pelicans. Do you think that this kind of
it's kind of like DeMarcus Cousins? It's like a repeat of DeMarcus Cousins.
It kind of is. I would say so.
Because DeMarcus Cousins got traded there, and they had Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins together as a dominant duo. They did nothing.
From everything I've seen / read / heard is they're going to offer him the max, the super max.
He's not taking it,
and if he doesn't take it, then they'll look to trade him.
Which I'm assuming he's.
Do you think they'll wait though, or do you think that they might pull the trigger now?
They'll probably talk to him now and say, "Are you going to take this super max if we offer you?" And he's going to get their answer soon. And if he says no,
I'll be completely honest with you, I think that they might be able to get more now.
Oh well, yeah.
Because
teams are willing to win now. There's a lot of teams
let's
that
just
can
use
win.
LA as the example because the speculation is that he'll be a Laker at some point. I think the Lakers, where they're at right now, 8th in the West, I think they'd be itching to pull the trigger on a deal like that. And from the Pelicans standpoint, you're probably going to get a guy like Ingram, Kuzma, maybe Lonzo Ball, plus a first-round pick or two.
You could trade him to the Spurs maybe and get Aldridge and get some quality draft picks out of that.
You know, I did read a rumor that the Warriors are actually looking to make a shock move for Anthony Davis. And I've heard this in the last couple of years.
Who are they going to trade DeMarcus Cousins back to the Pelicans? Obviously not.
They would probably trade Draymond Green plus...
You think they'll get rid of Green?
For Anthony Davis? They won't think twice.
Well, I'm just saying like their loyalty. I'm using air quotes for that.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but they wouldn't hesitate.
And basically that'll end the Kevin Durant, Draymond Green issue.
And
I know that's
from
kind
the
of
Warriors' perspective, what they would do is Durant would walk in the offseason, and they would have Davis, Clay, and Curry. And then you kind of not rebuild, but reload on the fly, and you can jumpstart like another 2-3 year run like that, which makes sense. I mean, I get it. You lose Durant, you had Anthony Davis. Like,
I'll take Davis over Durant.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how unfortunate. We lose Kevin Durant. We just replace him with Anthony Davis.
Or Draymond Green. Like, yeah. If you lose both Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, but you get Anthony Davis, I feel like it's a fair trade. Because you still have Stephen Curry, you still have Klay Thompson, you still have a deep bench. You're fine.
And also, it would also relieve the worries of the conundrum of having 4 players like that are expensive, where they would only have 3 if Durant leaves and Draymond gets traded. So it's not a bad conundrum to be in, although it is one. Did you see that the Sixers won last night? Yes, they beat the lowly Phoenix Suns, and they beat them in the desert. But Embiid scored 42 points. He had 30 in the first half.
So he basically played pretty bad in the second half. I'm kidding. Of course.
He had a sore knee going into the game. He was on the injury report.
Obviously, that didn't affect anything.
Sore knee feels a little better, I think, when you're shooting that well. What do you think?
Embiid's just carrying this team, in my opinion. Like he
had 18 rebounds too, so 42-18.
Well, I say carry because Ben Simmons has sometimes good games, but not all the time.
He had a good game last night.
Yeah, but he doesn't have good games consistently like Embiid does.
Simmons had 29 points on 11 shots last night.
Oh, I'm saying he played great, but I'm saying that's not a consistent basis for him.
I agree.
And, of course, you look at Markelle Fultz, and that's a huge bust, in my opinion. That will still be a bust whenever that
we'll see if he
official.
returns to the team and what happens with him.
Yeah.
Talk about efficient, though. Simmons had 29 points on 11 shots. Redick had 27 points on 12 shots. So 23 total shots, and it netted nearly 60 points. That's really good. And it shows in the stats as the Sixers shot 54% and 46% from 3. So you got to say that's
math for you.
Pretty good.
Math is fun.
Math. Yay, math. One last thing I want to talk about in the NBA that happened last night. Did you hear about the altercation in Memphis?
Well, oh, yes, with Armor Caspi and Garrett Temple. I did hear about this.
2 former Kings players who now play with Memphis
Yeah,
Grizzlies.
they've been on teams before. They were fine. I don't understand what happened.
To be completely honest, 2 of the most, I think, calm and relaxed players that I've seen.
And that's the thing. You said former Kings. They've been on the same team before. I can't get over that. Like, they've never had issues. Then all of a sudden they're fighting. Like, is there any has the reason gone out of what happened, what caused the incident?
That I do not know. But I think it's kind of easy to see why the frustrations have been mounting. Memphis, after starting off really hot this year, they are now 2-8 in their last 10, and they have fallen to 10th in the West. They're actually under 500 for the first time this year. And you know what? When we look at the Western Conference, some of these teams that start off pretty hot are kind of falling. The Kings are approaching 500. The Grizzlies are now under 500. Dallas is under 500. Utah is under 500. Minnesota and the Pelicans. So maybe the East is getting a little better, or maybe the top of the Western Conference is just distancing themselves a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things in where, like, they were playing so well, too. They had a great start to the season, and now this all happened, and it's just one of those instances in where everyone's not happy.
I think so too, and I was someone who was a little bit skeptical of their start because
Yes, you were. I remember.
they're not a bad team, but they do play a very methodical, slow
They
game.
played over their heads. I see what you're saying.
And like when you play that way, it's great when it works. But when you're playing against the Western Conference every night, you're playing against a lot of firepower. So you can get beat. Like you can just get like a team can shoot well, even if you play defense pretty good, and then you'll lose, and then you don't really have an answer in return. So, anyways, I think it's something that the Grizzlies will look into a little bit more. But what if they just listened a little bit more? They can do that.
I think it would benefit them.
They can do that with Audible. What is Audible? It is the best place to listen to audiobooks. Audiobooks inspire us, motivate us, and bring us closer. There's no better place to do that than with Audible. So, Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet. And now, Audible members get more than ever before. Each month, you get 3 titles of your choice, 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and fitness programs that you can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible, and you can do it now free for 30 days. All you have to do is visit audible.com/GSMCbook, or just get out your smartphone and text the code GSMCbook to 500-500. You can do that today and start your 30-day free trial.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Target Zero.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We just finished talking about NBA stuff. Now let's go to the NFL because we're closing in on the playoffs. Tomorrow we will preview each game that's happening this weekend, Wild Card Weekend. And now, what do we got on the agenda today for football?
Let me check the old Rolodex here.
Jesus Christ,
Was the Rolodex the original contacts app?
Basically.
Your parents would be like, hey, can you go get Jim Swanson's phone number for me and yell it to me so I can call?
Jim Swanson. Jesus.
Did your parents ever say that? Like, hey, can you read me
yes.
can you read me Amy, I don't know, McDonald's phone number, please?
Yeah.
And you're like, and nowadays you're like, just check your phone like everybody else.
Yeah.
NFL, yeah, let's do that.
Can you imagine someone still has a Rolodex today? Sorry, I just can't get over it. So I actually saw Rolodex.
Like, I'm pretty sure my grandmother still does, you know?
Well, okay.
Not my parents.
Okay, just continue.
Do you think that Antonio Brown, when he, I don't know, told his agent that he might be on the way out, that he just called him, or do you think he had to go home and look in his Rolodex to find his phone number first?
Nope. Don't think that happened.
Well,
I think this joke is run dry.
Apparently, Antonio Brown didn't request a trade regardless, so, you know, it doesn't even matter.
He said something coming off the field like that hinted at like he wanted to be traded, but nothing official.
So Mike Tomlin says he has not officially requested a trade and that they will handle this situation in-house, which I don't really – when coaches start talking like that, I drown it out. What about you? When somebody's like, we're going to handle this in-house, I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like that. It's like the Charlie Brown teacher, you know?
Yeah. That's exactly. It's one in one ear, out the other. You say it's in-house, but come on now. Your whole entire franchise has been known for turmoil.
Steelers fans are like going through it right now. I will tell you this.
Oh, boo-hoo. You won 6 Super Bowls.
So
Cry me a river.
I'll tell you this. Like, I know I would say an abnormal amount of Steeler fans based on the people that I know. Like, I think that I mean, Steeler fans we know are everywhere, right? Like, everybody knows Steeler fans.
Yeah.
But, like, I, for some reason, feel like I have a higher percentage of my NFL friends that like the Steelers and others. And they're absolutely losing their stuff, dude. Like, they're losing their minds over Brown, over Bell, over missing the playoffs.
Okay, ask them this. Have they had a bad season last 20 years?
I mean, every year that they've missed the playoffs, they've still been 500, right? Like, or about 500.
Have they been 2-14? Have they been 0-16? No, they can.
I did find that stat funny though. Like the last 4 or 5 times they missed the playoffs, they lost to the
Raiders.
Raiders.
They were 8-8.
Yeah, they lost to the Raiders in every year.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Steelers is they're always a consistently good team. They're about.
Oh yeah. Besides the Patriots, they're the model.
Yeah,
consistency.
And when you look at those two teams now, the Patriots and the Steelers, you're looking at a downhill slump very, very soon.
I would agree with that. I think
people don't agree with.
I'm sorry. Before good times are coming.
Speaking of downhill times, the Patriots don't look as good as a second place team this year. They do. I feel like they don't look like a team that deserves a bye week.
Limped into it.
Well, when you play the Jets twice, the Dolphins twice, and the Bills twice.
You know what though? The Dolphins are actually good against them. Remember the Miami
Okay,
Miracle?
Fine. Four games. You play the Jets twice and the Bills twice.
The Dolphins are still not good though.
Yeah. Again, your AFC East is the worst division in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
By far.
It has been for a long time.
And if the Patriots weren't in that division, they would not be a dynasty. I can call him that right now.
So, Antonio Brown, we had him with this latest incident. We've heard him. He walked out of Steelers practice a couple times, I guess, this year. He also had that incident earlier in the season where he threw some furniture out of a window, and I think he might have hurt some. I don't remember. He almost hit a kid. He almost hit a child.
It wasn't. I don't remember it being that big of a deal. So do you
think that this dude has just lost his mind, or is he fine?
I think he's playing it up.
What about Ryan Clark? He had some disparaging comments about Antonio Brown. When he was a teammate with them, he said he knew that once that guy got paid that he would act like this.
Yeah, well, you can say whatever you want after the fact.
Did you see the little Ryan Clark and Deion Sanders dispute on Twitter yesterday? That was pretty funny.
I don't know what who's going to listen to Ryan Clark?
Well, Ryan Clark, he's an analyst. And
true.
But he said something and Deion said, I can't remember what it happened, but Ryan Clark tweeted back at Deion and said, "We are at the same hotel at the same event right now. If you have something to say, let's meet downstairs."
Oh, he was called them out fighting. Let's leave these two old retired safety and
Ryan
cornerback
Clark
fight.
is just saying that because he's younger than Deion. Deion's been retired a lot. Ryan
Deion
Clark's
has nothing
newly retired.
Deion has nothing to prove.
Yeah, Deion. His response was we don't need to do all that, but we can have dinner. That was basically what he said. He's we don't need to do all that, but if you want to meet for, grab a bite, let's do that.
Yeah, so, I thought that was great.
Antonio Brown. I know his name is big right now in the media. We fully expect him to be on the Steelers next year or no? We know about his contract. He won't get traded before June 1st. We know that. But
I don't see him
on opening day roster, yes or no, is he on the Steelers?
No.
I say yes.
I don't see it.
I say yes.
You see it.
I just think that they will not go into next season with no Le'Veon and no Antonio Brown. I know that I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I just don't think that their image, I don't see their front office doing that. That's I guess
you
my
don't
point.
See their front office succeeding.
No, I don't.
Oh,
see them
you
making that transition that big. Right away.
You think they're too cowardly to do it? Ooh,
no. I'm not saying that, but I think that they are they're a model franchise that look. How many coaches they had in their history? 4,
3, 4. 4 is being generous.
4 or 5, maybe.
They don't know how to pull a trigger.
So they're very consistent, right? They keep things the way they are.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. So we'll see. Anyways, NFL, the ratings.
Yes.
That was a big topic last year, right?
They dropped,
the protests, the players kneeling and all that. It caused a stir.
People did not like that.
I guess the ratings dropped. I still wonder though. Do you really think that the Nielsen ratings are accurate with how many cord cutters there are and things like that?
It's one person equals 300,000. roughly around?
I mean, I'll be the first one to admit it. I stream things online all the time that I don't pay for. And how are they tracking
Woo,
that?
woo, woo.
It is what it is.
You're lucky this is recorded and no one knows where we are.
I mean, I'm sure that people can figure it out. People so smarter than me can figure out exactly where I'm sitting right now.
Okay. Kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Well, I mean, we're all connected like cell phones and stuff, you know?
The world is, are you one of those the guys that are like, the government's listening to us,
I'm
man.
sitting there in my tinfoil hat, like, you know, like off the grid.
Yeah, like it's like every technology, they know exactly
Seems
what
a
you're
little
doing.
crazy.
It's like they have the thing from Batman, the sonar thing, where every cell phone becomes like a map.
See, you lost me when you start doing that. You lose me like every time.
Have you ever seen The Dark Knight?
I have, but you know,
Do you remember when he had like the sonar ray on his cowl, and he was like,
not really. I don't remember that part too much.
well, that's my all-time favorite movie, so I don't like you right now.
It's all good. So the NFL ratings are up, though. They're up 5%. So all the people that are like, "Oh, the NFL's dead. It's not coming back. It's over."
Who
They're wrong.
said this?
Oh, you know,
People that are wrong?
the same people that are wearing the tinfoil hats.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone say that, and I hope that's not the case because that's stupid.
A lot of people, dude. A lot of
It's
people.
the most rated. They're wrong.
So guess what? 46 of the 50 highest or most watched programs in 2018 were NFL games.
Not
46
so-
out of 50.
That doesn't surprise me.
It is the most watched thing on television by far.
Again, you're not surprising me.
Shows like The Voice, they wish they had the ratings NFL had. That is absolutely nuts, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Still, once again, not surprising me.
And this is, again, without being able to fully track people who are streaming these games on Reddit and other websites, right?
Touche.
So if anybody says the NFL is struggling, just let them know the ratings are up 5%. I think they will be just fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue.
The New York Football Giants, they are committed to Odell Beckham Jr. It sounds like he is not on the market according to them, according to their front office. What do you take from that?
I think they just are. I don't know. There's always talks about this, and like we're keeping him, but every time you hear this, the guy's gone by next season. How many times have we heard that? Like, oh, we're not trading him. We're not interested in trading him, and then he's gone. I don't buy it.
That's yeah. Although they didn't say the same thing about Eli Manning when their general manager was asked about Eli Manning's future at the team. He said all options are on the table. We will review every
Eli
option.
is 30-something years old.
He said whatever decision that needs to be made to make this team better, we will make. So
I see what he's doing.
does that signal that he's done, or do you think he has a chance to come back again?
Probably. Once he's not going to get traded, they're probably going to try to convince him to retire. To be honest with you, I could see that happening.
Yeah, maybe.
And just like, we don't want to get rid of you because you're a legend here. Blah blah blah. You won a Super Bowls, but can you just call it a career?
Yeah.
It's like saying, come on, you're done. You accept the fact that you were bad. That's what they're trying to
So
say.
ESPN put out their football power index that has the Super Bowl chances for every team that's currently in the playoffs. So I'll go through them. Who do you think is number one?
Number one is the Chiefs. No, give me the Saints.
Number one is the Saints.
Yeah,
and they're at 30.5%.
Okay.
Number two is
The Rams.
Number two is not the Rams.
It's the Chiefs?
It is the Chiefs
Okay.
at 24%.
All right.
Who do you think's number three?
That's the Rams.
The Rams are number three at 16.8%. Number four is an AFC team.
Patriots.
They are at 12.8%.
Well, why am I not surprised the top four teams that are favored are the teams with buys?
Who do you think is number five, though?
Chargers?
It starts to get interesting.
Chargers?
It is the Chargers.
Yeah.
Only at 4%, though. So
That's actually kind of surprising.
who do you think is number six?
Give me this Texans.
It is not.
Really?
It is an NFC team.
Really? Who Who is in the NFC right now? That's the wild card. The Bears?
Yes. Number 7 would be
the Texans?
They're not. There's another AFC team.
No way.
Yes.
Baltimore?
Yes. Well, I take it back. They're tied. I don't know why one is 7, one's 8. They both have a 2% chance.
Texans have a much higher percentage chance, in my opinion, than 2.
And number 9.
The Colts?
No. Well,
are the Colts the last?
The Colts are number 10. They're slightly behind number 9.
Okay.
By 0.1%.
Seahawks, then?
Yes.
So the Colts are.
So who are the
below
last two?
So the Colts and.
The Colts are 10. So the last two are.
Well, the process of elimination. There's. Well, AFC Baltimore. No, wait, did you say Baltimore?
The AFC's already done. Every AFC team's already in.
So it's NFC teams now.
Only 2 left, and they're both NFC teams, and they're both from the
same
division.
Eagles and
the same division.
The Cowboys.
Yep. Those are the 2. Cowboys at 1.2. The Eagles are last at 0.5. Do these people understand that Nick Foles is the quarterback and everything is changed?
I think they understand that they got there by the skin of their teeth, so that's why they're last.
Nick Foles is going to do it again, isn't he?
I think he is, to be honest with you.
Gun to your head. Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl or not? Nah, he's not winning.
Oh,
Come
but
on,
if he
man.
does, I'm dead.
So, yeah, but he'd have to win, 1, 2. He'd have to win 4 games.
Yeah, we've seen this happen before.
With
Eli freaking
He didn't have to
Manning.
win 4, though. He only had to win 3.
But we've seen Eli Manning do the same thing.
But when he won 3 last year, they were at home, and then the Super Bowl was obviously neutral. But this time he's going to have to win 4, and all 4 are going to have to be away. Like, all 4 are going to have to be on the road.
The 4th one's the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah, but I count that as a road game.
It's not really that, because it's a road game for the other person,
All right, so
too.
let's do 3 road games then, and a neutral.
Yeah.
You think the Eagles are going to do that?
It's
a little bit different than last year, because last year they had the bye. Like, they were the number 1.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is obviously a different team, not the same team he used to be. So give me... I'm going to say no.
What do you think about the news that Caesars from Caesar's Palace, not Caesar's Pizza...
Now I'm hungry.
Not
Thank you.
Pizza. That was a free ad, by the way. If they want to pay us, they can. Caesars is officially the gaming sponsor of the NFL.
That's good for them. Good for them. Good for them.
Seems like that is now a thing. MGM, I think, is a official partner of, is it baseball maybe? One of those. NBA maybe?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is just news for just gamblers and betting odds and stuff like that. But
like 1-800-GAMBLER?
Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a thing. 1-800-GAMBLER? Is that like a gambling anonymous addiction site?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it actually is? Okay, that's what I thought. They'll sponsor the NFL for sure. It's funny because they won't. Anyways, speaking of sponsorships, what would we all like if we all listened more? Listening to audiobooks inspires us, motivates us, even brings us closer. And there's no better place to listen than Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now Audible members get more than ever before. Each month they get 3 titles of their choice, 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and fitness programs they can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible. Try it free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMCbook or by texting the code GSMCbook to 500500. Once again, if you want to try this 30-day trial of Audible, go to audible.com/GSMCbook or text the code GSMCbook to 500500.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Target.
Welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We finished NFL, we finished NBA. Well, let's go to the world of baseball and the Bryce Harper watch of 2019.
I like
because,
that you got the year right.
Well, because we already passed.
You wanted to say, but you thought about it before.
Well, because it should just be the watch of 2018, but he hasn't decided yet, which I thought he would decide by now, but he's still deciding.
He is still deciding, I guess. Who did he meet with yesterday?
I believe he met with the Nationals for 5 hours.
Is that a long time?
Yes.
I honestly don't know. I'm not asking facetiously. I'm actually interested.
Have you ever flown to Hawaii? Or across the country?
I have flown across the country, yes.
It's like, imagine that talking the entire time about business.
But I mean, when you're talking about like $300 to $400 million, like it doesn't seem that long, right?
I think it was more than that. It was obviously more than money. It was obviously the teams. I know. Where the team's going.
I just mean if the end result is I am either going to give you or not give you $300 to $400 million, I think like it feels like 5 hours isn't that long.
They probably were stalling for the first 4 hours.
Like, if you had a job interview for, like, McDonald's and it lasted 5 hours, I'd be like, why are we doing this? But if it was for $500 million, I'd be like, okay.
For the Nationals, it looked like Harper was no way going back. That's why this might have felt like a McDonald's interview. That is the interesting
part. I agree with you. That part, I thought it was dead in the water, right?
It could feel like a McDonald's interview because he doesn't want to play there anymore, but they're trying to go like, please take me back. I'll do anything. I'll give you flowers. I'll take you out to nice dinners.
He's going to L.A., though, right? Like, isn't he?
Not officially. He hasn't said a word about it.
The Dodgers made that move to clear up the room so they could sign Harper, allegedly.
Or they just thought Puig was not good anymore, and Kemp was way past his prime.
Yeah, but both those players are better than what they got back. That's the thing. Like, they got Homer Bailey and who else? I don't even remember.
I think it was a prospect.
They pretty much did it. They pretty much did it for the room, for the cap space room. They didn't win that trade.
Maybe if they don't get Harper, they'll just pay for a bunch of other stars.
Plus, like, Kemp, I thought, played pretty well last year, all things considered.
Kemp is old. He's done. Puig is getting
to that but Kemp, area. I think, had a decent year, right? I mean,
yeah, but he's not a guy you would put in your starting lineup. He's a DH at best for me personally.
Maybe, but I mean, he's not like a terrible guy to have on your team, right?
Yeah, but I think it was right to trade him because his contract wasn't huge, but he'll probably ask for something big if he continues to play well. Plus, Puig is he's kind of a head case, and also his contract is pretty high. So I think that was best for the Dodgers to get rid of him and move on to someone in the outfield that can play defense maybe, because he's not a defensive guy. He has an arm that he can throw, but running towards the ball and catching, he's too big for that. And I'm not saying he's fat; he's too muscular.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Puig is overrated to me personally.
Dodgers are going to get Harper. So as soon as everybody accepts this fate and we can move on.
I don't know about that yet. I'm still
the Los
hesitant.
Angeles Dodgers are getting Bryce Harper, and I'm willing to bet 50 push-ups on it.
50. Okay, deal. If Harper signs with any other team, you do 50 push-ups. I'll do 50 push-ups if he signs with the Dodgers.
If Harper signs with the Dodgers, you do 100 push-ups.
What? Why? Why are you changing all of a sudden?
If he signs with any other team, I do 50 push-ups.
No, that's not fair.
Because they're taking the field.
No, you said 50. You said, but no, I'm not doubling it. No, 50 to 50. That's fair.
No, it's not fair.
Wow, way to backtrack that.
I said I would bet you 50 push-ups.
And then you tell me I had to double it? No, 50 to 50.
See, but
what a load of bull that is.
You get all the other teams.
Oh, yes, because all other 30 teams have
No, but there's like just 10 teams in on Harper.
2.
No, there's like 10 teams in on Harper. The White Sox are in on Harper.
Yeah, but what teams are actually going to have a chance? The Phillies and the Yankees besides...
Phillies, Yankees, Dodgers are in the mix. The White Sox are in the mix. The Cubs
He's not going to the White Sox.
In the mix. The San Francisco Giants could make a play.
No, there's no way.
The Cardinals are definitely in the mix. There are teams.
Getting Goldschmidt, that was their replacement for Harper.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think they're going to get him, but
50 for 50, take it or leave it.
50 to 50? Nah.
Wow. You just said bet, and I
bet.
agreed to that. Wow, okay, way to change. What a
I said
track.
I would bet 50 push-ups.
Why do you have to... yeah, I was like, okay,
I'm
50,
willing
50.
to wager 50 push-ups.
But then you're making me wager 100?
Yeah, because you're
getting
a huge discount going straight up for
I don't
taking the whole
care.
field. You don't have to take the bet.
I said you said 50, and I agreed 50
You
to
don't
50.
have to take the bet.
Well, you just wow, okay, whatever. What a waste of time you just spent
All right.
on the bet. That was unbelievable.
Well, you didn't have to take it. You don't have to take it. But
well, I said okay. I said okay. You said I bet you 50, and I was like, okay, deal 50, and then you go, oh no, 100.
Yeah, but if we're having a 3-point shooting contest, I'm not letting you shoot layups. That's the thing,
Okay, so you have no confidence for the Dodgers
I have
signing.
tremendous confidence. 100 push-ups to 50. I'm basically saying that he's going to sign with the Dodgers.
You're making me do the 100 push-ups.
I know.
It's not like you're saying I'll do 100 push-ups. You're making me do the 100.
But the odds are not 2-1. I'm pretty sure that he signs with the Dodgers.
This is stupid. You're stupid. Going on with this though, Harper with the 5 hours to the Nationals is one of those things in where maybe they're asking for him. They're obviously asking for him back, but like maybe this is one of those things. Maybe he wants to win a championship there. Maybe they're trying to convince him they'll get other players around him because they lost a couple key players, and maybe they're kind of getting desperate so they don't end up in the basement. Because that's where they're leading to. They're leading to the basement.
The Nationals aren't signing Harper.
But yes, I understand. But they talked to him because of the fact they're leading towards the basement, and I don't think they want to end up there.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the weirder things have happened, so I could see it happening. But as a percentage, I give it like a 5% chance of happening.
The Nationals, yeah, I would say.
I would say the Phillies have a way better chance.
Yeah, right now the odds in order are the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Cubs, the White Sox, the Cardinals, the Nationals. That's updated by OddsShark. So, I mean, we'll see, but there's a few teams that are right in the same ballpark, but the Nationals are considerably further behind than all the other teams.
Yeah. And there's a reason the Dodgers and the Phillies are first, second, because they can pay him the most.
Mm-hmm. The Dodgers were third, and then after that trade, they moved up to number one.
Because of the luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
If they signed Harper, they would have to pay a lot.
$16 million in luxury tax and $7 million in actual payroll. So
dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah. If they get him, if the Dodgers do get Harper, will they actually win the World Series next year? They've been very close.
They got Machado, and they were like, "Yeah, they're going to finally go over the hump." They still didn't get it done.
Before that, they lost in the 7th game.
Well, the thing is that when they got Machado, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the boost they need to go over the hump." They got to the hump and couldn't get over it. So, what's the difference between Harper and Machado? Because they're both equally as valuable.
I think that's the question that the Phillies are asking themselves, because it sounds like they're intent on signing at least one of them, right?
Isn't it? I was hearing they could get both of them, which is. Luxury tax would be off the charts.
I don't think they'll get both of them because I don't think both guys they'll be able to convince to go there. Like if it was New York or LA was in on both of them, I could see that happening. But it's Philadelphia, and there's New York and LA are battling to get both guys too. So it's like it would be.
It's all about
odd
money
to me.
there.
And I get it's all about money, but if it comes down to if the money's close, like if the money is close, you might. Prefer to
What's
play
close? 50 million or like 20?
Well, I'll tell you right now. For Bryce Harper, I think they're both marketable players, but I think Bryce Harper is the most marketable player in the MLB right now, and probably will be for the next 4 or 5 years. He's a household name. Like he can do a lot of product placement, and he can star in movies. Like he can do a lot of things. Okay. He can.
Yeah. I can't imagine Bryce Harper in. I don't know, but Fast and Furious 12.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying he's the same marketing-wise as, like, LeBron, but he can be baseball's LeBron, right? Like, he can be the most marketable baseball player, and I think if he plays in a location like New York or Los Angeles, he will make more money in endorsements than he will on his contract. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, who's he signed with? Did he sign with Under Armour? Is Under Armour?
I think it's Under Armour. It could be like a.
For example, he makes money every time a kid buys his cleats, right?
Probably.
He's going to make more money wearing a Dodgers jersey. More kids are going to buy cleats wearing him wearing a Dodgers jersey or Yankees pinstripes.
Wherever he's going to go to, those jerseys are selling out like hotcakes.
The Yankees logo, like the New York Yankee hat, is one of the most marketable logos in the world. Like you can go anywhere. You can go to Paris. You can go to.
And then you ask them what hat is that, and they have no idea.
Some of them know, but otherwise, some of them just think, oh, that means New York. That's cool. Like that's.
It's not a.
You go to
it's
Japan,
not a sports team.
You go to Japan, you go to Tokyo in Japan, you go.
Well,
anywhere,
they have baseball there.
Exactly, but I'm saying like if there's one baseball hat you see, it's probably going to be a Yankees hat
or a team from Tokyo. I don't know.
And on the flip
are.
side, Los Angeles, the LA on the hat means something. It's the reason why the Angels want to put Los Angeles in their name in the first place, because they want to be associated with Los Angeles, because that has a lot more clout than Anaheim.
Well, they have the A, so they're halfway there.
Yeah, they have.
All they have to put is an L with another halo. But they would get sued, right?
The only reason why they have the ridiculous name of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim is because Los Angeles carries a lot more clout than Anaheim. Like if you're somebody who's from,
you know what's smart about it? They Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim on the scoreboard on television, it will be LAA,
exactly.
Not A.
So if you're a random dude in Germany, if somebody says, "Hey, where's Anaheim in the United States?" you'll be like, "I have no effing idea." Mm-hmm. But if somebody says, "Where is Los Angeles?" I know exactly where that is. I can point it to on a map. Yeah, Anaheim might as well be Ohio when it comes to somebody who's not from the United States.
Touche. Yeah, you're totally right. I don't know any guys from Germany that watch baseball, but I'm sure there's a couple.
There's some, probably, right?
I don't know what fan. Who would be a fan?
I don't know.
I don't know what to be a fan of either. Like I don't
probably
know.
Some, but yeah, it's probably not very.
I think
popular.
it's one of the lines. If a guy from their country plays in a professional setting in America,
like Yao Ming in China.
Yeah, exactly. They're fans of that team, which makes sense
for sure. But, I mean, how many Japanese people were Mariners fans because Ichiro came over?
Hands down, everybody.
Like Ichiro was so big.
He was basically like, who's the most popular person in the world in America right now?
Who is the most popular person in America?
Yeah.
Like
who? Your opinion?
Like, are we just talking about athletes or like
just anybody?
Overall? The most popular person in America.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
like The Rock.
He's got to be up there. Oprah's got to be up there.
That's what Ichiro was in Japan.
Yeah, I mean those.
That's what I'm trying to point out.
That's a good question. Who's the most popular person in America?
But that was in Japan. That was Ichiro is up there.
I would even say, even though it's politically divisive, I would say Barack Obama is one of the most popular people in the United States.
LeBron's probably up there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, LeBron's.
But
up there,
that was Ichiro in Japan. That's what I'm trying to make out here.
Right.
Any celebrity in Japan,
actually,
Ichiro was
probably even bigger
them.
Because like. Who doesn't like Ichiro, right? Like all the people that we named, like some people you probably know at least somebody who doesn't like that. Like
Ichiro's very quiet, nice guy.
Plus, like he's representing a whole country going to a different country. So, like you're right. Even if we didn't care for someone, let's say like somebody's personality, like let's say we didn't care for I don't know Bryce Harper, but he went to go play in Japan. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go hit 100 home runs over there. I'm going to show the Japanese people that I can actually do this.
He probably could do that.
We would all be rooting for him, even if we didn't root for him playing in the United States.
And if Japan had a bigger baseball league.
Right.
Like, China has a basketball league that's actually competing with the NBA in some ways. Because you see a lot of NBA
they got
athletes.
Money in China.
They got a lot of money in China. Mainly from America.
See Jimmer out there making like $80 million.
76 points a game.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. He's making 80 mil.
Marbury went over there.
Is he really making that much?
I don't know.
Is
if
it American
making
U.S.
that.
dollars?
I don't know if he's making that much, but he's making a lot.
He's probably getting a lot of sponsorships in China, I'm assuming.
China, in terms of soccer, they pay a ton of money for like washed up players. Like
no, you just said Stephon Marbury for basketball.
Yeah.
Like, how washed up can you possibly be?
I don't think he plays anymore, but he did for a while.
I saw him play recently.
Really?
He got in a fight with Jimmer, I think.
Oh, really?
I think.
I don't really follow that league.
I just remember hearing Stephon Marbury's name, like, I think at least one time last year. I'm like, oh my God, he's still playing? Isn't he like 40?
So going back to Harper, I just feel like Harper, Machado, their household names, like those guys can be marketable.
But if
Machado's got an opportunity
Machado's got
too,
a hothead, though.
But
that's
Machado's got an opportunity, though, Jeff, because he is. Where is he from?
America.
Well, what?
I'm kidding.
What,
He's actually, I think he's from
is he
Puerto Rico?
Venezuelan or Puerto Rican?
Something like that.
So he has the ability with the Latin community to be the
absolutely.
face of the Latin baseball community, and that's a big deal. Like when you're marketing, and if he, for example, if he's wearing the pinstripes and he's selling some product in Puerto Rico, that's like big time. Like that's
While wearing the ice suit.
I mean, LA was big too for him. Don't get me wrong, but it's wearing a Phillies uniform is all I'm saying.
No, we're good. Okay, sorry. I thought our recording cut out, but it didn't. I agree with you on the fact that Machado, he was in LA for a very brief time, though. He couldn't really get much going.
Right.
He got there at the trade deadline, and he was honestly just there to get them to the World Series, which he didn't really show up for, to be honest with you. He played pretty poorly at the World Series.
Let me ask you a question. If you're Bryce Harper, okay, and the Phillies say, Jeff, I'm going to give you 10 years, $500 million.
Yes.
But then the Yankees say, I'm going to give you 10 years, $400 million. Where do you go?
So I'm getting 10 years, $400 million from the Yankees, and 10 years, $500 million from where?
From the Phillies.
An extra $100 million?
$100 million over 10 years. So, yeah, it comes about to about $10 million a year for the next 10 years more that you would get for playing with the Phillies in Philadelphia. Or you can take $100 million less and play in the
I have to
pinstripes.
say, I have to give it the Phillies. An extra $100 million? Yeah, I got to take that.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you can
$500 million?
But
So
do you think you can make up $100 million in 10 years wearing the pinstripes? Oh, you're Bryce Harper. Now you're thinking about it with Bryce Harper. You got the long flowing locks.
regardless
you got
of where
the beard.
regardless of where Harper goes, he's got to get endorsements.
Absolutely.
So regardless, he's going to make a ton of money. $500 million over $400 million. Add like about. I could see him still making around like $25 million from endorsements alone. And so he's closer to $1 billion playing for the Phillies than he is playing for the Yankees.
Do you think that he would make $10 million more a year in endorsements playing in New York, though, or do you think that he wouldn't make that much?
But that's
more?
still 410. 500 still way more.
No, $10 million a year more in endorsements,
So 400 million plus an extra 10 million.
plus an extra $100 million over that same 10
Oh, I
years.
see what you're saying.
Like, do you think he'd be able to make that up plus some, or no?
He could, but I would rather play it safe and just get 500 million straight off the bat.
Yeah, maybe. It's
Plus,
interesting
he's
conversation.
going to get endorsements regardless. He still has Under Armour. He probably will get Nike and whatever
I'm
else.
still very interested in seeing this 133-page document that his agent made, where he's giving out to every team. and why-
130. Who's reading that?
I know.
That's what lawyers are for.
Well, I mean, agents pretty much are lawyers, right?
Well, I mean, like how like the teams like lawyers. Like, how much can I pay you to read this? About $2,000, maybe $500,000 an hour.
so
That seems reasonable.
I wanted to go back to football. You said Alshon Jeffrey was talking some trash about
He
the
was to
Soldier
well,
Field.
Well,
or?
he says the field is terrible. He was talking. He always talked to the field crew, saying to help change it.
Oh, when
or
he
something.
played there because he was hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Because he played there and he
Fun
was
fact:
always hurt.
Him and Brandon Marshall used to be the two of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
Jay
at one
Cutler,
point.
Brandon Marshall, and Alshon Jeffrey.
That was a dangerous trio.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said triple. I meant trio. But yeah, that's how it worked, and that's how. And Alshon Jeffrey is going to get booed pretty badly when he goes back to that field. And $20 says if he goes there and he like stumbles on the field, they are going to cheer wildly for that.
Alshon Jeffrey loves Nick Foles. When Nick Foles is in the game, he looks to Alshon Jeffrey first.
And then Carson Wentz is like
More of an
not,
Ertz guy.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
yeah.
Ertz set the record for receptions by a tight end this year. Most of the games he played, it was with Wentz. So,
Yeah. So, obviously, there's
national
favoritism.
championship tickets are plummeting because nobody wants to go to the game.
I wonder why, because we've seen this 2 times already. This is 3 out of the last 4 years. It's Clemson
Do you think
versus
it's
Bama.
that, or do you think it's the fact that both teams are cross country going to play in Santa Clara, whereas the game is not like somewhere in the south or somewhere closer in proximity?
Both. I think it's going to be they have to
The
go cross
novelty
country.
wore out a little bit too, because
And-
like you said,
yeah.
it's their
3 out of the last
3 or
4 years
4.
we've seen Clemson versus
And
Alabama.
I think this is the 4th time they've played like a big game.
Oh, they probably played in the playoff at one
3
point.
of the last 4, yes, but I think it's like 4 of the last 6 or 4 of the last
Yeah.
7.
When it comes to the national championship final game, it's been these 2.
You can get a
3
ticket
times.
to the game for $100 now. Usually the average is
$100
about $300.
That's cheap. And when you look at it, why would you go to this game if you've seen it already? That's how I look at it.
Because you want to see 2 undefeated
It
teams
reminds me of professional wrestling in this matter. John Cena versus The Rock was this huge matchup that everyone wanted to see, and that happened at WrestleMania, and everyone's like, oh, that was great. The very next year they did it again, no one was interested. It was considered one of the worst.
Every time I hear John Cena, I just think,
everyone does. But like the next year's WrestleMania was considered one of the worst ever because they did the same exact match the second time. You don't like to know the outcome before the match happens.
I already knew it was going to happen in Infinity War, and I still watched it.
That's different.
What a way to wrap up this show. Coming back full circle.
To Infinity War, yeah, sure. All right, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Please tune in tomorrow we will preview the NFL Wildcard Weekend. That's a great time because now we get to watch football matter the most. And as always, I'm Jeff Malinoff. That's Mark Souza, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.